let's talk about the principle of value. So most of the times, right, when people do not have money, what that literally means is they are not adding enough value in order for them to be paid. So basically, when you're broke, you're basically not having enough value that, guarantees that you're going to get paid. So in order for you to generate income, you have to provide value, and value can be analyzed in different ways. There are people who are intellectually valuable. There are people who are gifted physically, aka sportsmen, sportswomen, and there are also people who are entertainers. All that is under the connotation of value. So when you have value and you also know how to sell whatever you have, selling can be a product or a skill, right? Skill slash product, okay? Uh, slash service. Okay. In order for you to get money, you need to do something. You need to provide a service. You need to sell something. When you sell something, you get money, and that provides value. So when you do that, right, you obviously need to market yourself, market whatever you are doing. So basically, if you market whatever you are selling, be it your skill, your product, your service, you are providing value. And that is definitely going to give you the dollars, the money. So whenever you're feeling broke, whenever you're feeling you don't really have a lot of opportunities, whenever you think, okay, you're not really going anywhere, just reevaluate this triangle of success. What services are you selling? Do you have the right appropriate skills? Because sometimes you might be in a location or in an area where your skills do not underline with whatever company you're working for. So you have to reposition yourself. So if you understand how to position yourself, how to figure out what the best skills, products, or services to sell, and if you understand how to market yourself. And then marketing is a very vague word because marketing happens on many levels. Let's say, for example, a friend of yours recommends you to be hired by a particular company, right? They are basically marketing you. Okay, if you come on Facebook, you're selling your products on Facebook. We've seen a lot of people selling products on Facebook. Facebook is a marketplace. Okay, so once you figure out how to market your product, your service, allow the right people, the right demographic to find you, you're definitely going to be able to make some sales. And while you're doing that, right, you're obviously providing enough value. So, ladies and gentlemen, if as a society we understand the basic principles of making money, value addition, selling a product, marketing a product, there's obviously no way we are going to fail to make money. And I do understand sometimes it's a cyclical thing. There are periods where you have very little limited business, very little business, and it's very difficult for you to get clients and so on and so forth. But eventually, if you do persevere, you're definitely going to be able to make money and be able to sustain yourself. So the issue of seeking divine intervention or spiritual privileges in terms of ritualism and just practicing awkward beliefs, it's not really going to give you money. And if you do get blood money, witchcraft money, best believe you're not going to keep it. You're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to keep it. You're going to have a lot of guilt if you're ever going to get the money at all. Personally, I do not believe in ritual money, magic money. I've never seen anybody who's gone to a shrine or going to Luapula, because everybody respects Luapula, and they came back with a lot of money. I have literally never seen anybody. But if you use what we just talked about, value addition, selling, and marketing, and figuring out what type of skills, products, and services you're going to be offering to people, aka to the market, and letting people discover who you are, you're definitely going to be able to make a lot of money. Anyway, Siku, you're back.
Yeah, definitely. I'm back, and quite an interesting presentation that you had there. Very informative, and we have so many examples of people literally doing that. A lot of examples of women, young ladies doing that. For example, Tina Chilufya is one person I can mention off the top of my head. She's got Tina Shakes, and she's looked at a market that is huge. She's looked at ladies, it was trendy to be thick, so she started selling a protein shake that encouraged women to, gain weight and, properly shape up and whatnot. So she capitalized off that market, marketed herself properly on social media. Social media had the numbers, and she's pretty much living a comfortable life, ensuring that she is taking care of herself and her children. So we've had so many examples of people that are actually, capitalizing in terms of creating value and realizing that there is an opportunity in a certain market. I would also go in as far as putting in Auntie Millie, her beauty products. She looked at the market, she looked at the need for beauty products, and she capitalized. And fast forward to today, we know her as a savvy businesswoman. So I think there is no such thing as no hope. There's always something that one person can do. I can also talk about Ben Lombe, Queen B. We might say, no, but he's calling himself Queen Bee and whatnot. That's a marketing strategy. He has the ladies that actually can afford his Brazilian hair, his Peruvian hair, so he's realized that this is the best way to market myself and market my craft and get the people that can actually afford my services. So I think it's time to be innovative. It's time to not sit down and just say, let's wait for the government to provide opportunities and jobs, because there's no job that's going to come. You're at home. Government talk right now. The competition is very stiff. Even if you've got your qualifications, you've got your diploma, your degree as a teacher, you have to ensure that that even when government is recruiting, it's competitive, because the whole Zambia, they are recruiting from the whole Zambia. And right now we are 20 million plus people. And then let's say maybe half of that or 5 million of that are actually applied for those jobs. So, there's a high probability chance that you'll be left out from that selection. So this is where now we have to look at entrepreneurship and how well we can change the mindsets of people. And the beauty about it is that we are in an environment where it's easy to access capital. What do I mean by that? We've got CDF grants that are coming through, loans that are coming through. CEEC is giving loans at very affordable rates, So I think if somebody says, Chikwete kwa kufumia or Chikwete idea, right now you can do literally anything with your phone. You can market yourself, you can post something, you can go to a Chinese shop in Zambia and buy something and then resell it, put a markup price of a 50 kwacha or a 20 kwacha, sell 10 of those, you have 100 kwacha, and you return your profit. So I think it's high time that we kind of opened our minds and just became more of a hustle nation.
Yeah, for sure. And I do agree with you. And by the way, let me give you a fun fact. You see, all the papas,
Uh-huh.
all the witch doctors, all the witchcraft people, they are actually selling a product. You are a product. So if you go to a papa, right, and the papa says, okay, you need to give me a Range Rover, or you need to give me 100,000, you need to give me 50,000 kwacha. You are the target audience. They are basically making money off of you. To them, it is actually a business. So this is one of the reasons why sometimes we need to have, sensitization uh, as a society, because a lot of people only think in one way with regards to making money. In Zambia, the normal practice is, okay, you graduate from high school, you go to university or you go to any college, then you get employed, you become a entrepreneur or you become a politician, etc. So we need to sort of inculcate the spirit of diversification in terms of income generation. You understand? So right now, there's a lot of different opportunities that are emerging. All you have to do is figure out what your thing is. You see, the way we are blessed could be different from the way that you are blessed. A lot of Zambian footballers, the popular ones, they're very skilled at football. They're very good at that. that brings them income. Maybe your thing is cooking. Maybe you've got the best recipe, you've got ideas about designing, fashion, etc. So all we have to educate the population is how do you get to attract money? Because money is a spirit that needs to be attracted. When I use the word spirit, right? A lot of you are going to get into spiritualism and you're going to want to use witchcraft, which is the wrong way. So if we educate people on how to provide value and how to understand how to do research, because markets are very different. If you go, let's say, for example, to Baghdad, or if you go to New Delhi, India, or if you go to Pretoria, South Africa, you have to apply skills in a different way. So this is one of the reasons why it's very important for us to educate people on how to think. And as a society, right, we are not very innovative in terms of problem solving, and this is one of the reasons why our educational syllabus in universities is very limited. We mostly recite, we mostly focus on theory. We do not really practice our crafts, etc. And this is one of the reasons why, when we have, or rather, when we experience flooding in Lusaka, right, it's been over 20 years. It's been over 60 years since we've had the issue of flooding. But as a society, we haven't solved that problem because we are not a very out of the box thinking type of society. Most of the times we like to follow certain stipulations, and we're very limited in how we apply our knowledge, because most of the times we're always reciting and trying to remember the theory, and we're not very, very practical. So if we sort of have a mentality where we are able to focus on skills harnessing, it's going to be very good. And right now, I'm very thankful to the new Dong government, because there's obviously CDF scholarships that are really honing in with regards to shaping the skill set of people. A lot of Zambian citizens have been offered a lot of scholarships under CDF in order for them to understand craftsmanships. There's carpentry, there's plumbing, there's a lot of those skills that can literally be very, very useful for us in society. Siku, you still there?
Definitely. Yeah, still here. Definitely, definitely. And I feel there's a lot to talk about where it comes to this issue, because we have to understand value addition. And as a nation and as a people, this is something that we really have failed ourselves, because we do not really create value addition. We've got the minds. How are we creating value addition? We're only thinking about supplying things and whatnot, but what can we do in terms of value addition that we can see that, oh, okay, money will remain in Zambia? And like you mentioned, the New Dawn government is prioritizing skills, people are acquiring skills, and we're seeing this with the CDF bursaries, the skill sets, and all that, and all those things, and which is very important, because now we'll have plumbers, we'll have qualified plumbers, we'll have qualified artisans, we'll be able to make our own stuff, we'll be able to do a lot that we are outsourcing from outside the country. So this is very important that we have these conversations, especially with our ladies. And I would love to say that I'm impressed with the Generation Z, because these are very tech savvy guys, and they know how to utilize opportunities where it comes to online content. And I'm starting to see a different mindset from them. They are more go-getters than millennials and the generation before that, because they have now they're seeing the loopholes, and they're understanding the importance of value addition. I mean, look at the guys like the Brian Chandas, who have really capitalized on the youth population and ensuring that they are selling products that's attractive to the Generation Z. So these are things that we really need to talk more about, creating more information and platforms where people can learn about value addition, marketing, also utilizing available platforms. For example, you want to sell something, Facebook marketing is absolutely free. You just have to have an account, and you have an online platform where you can sell your services. You don't necessarily have to go and rent a shop. Kuma city market, all you have to do is have a strategy. And these are things that people now should start looking for in terms of information, because information is not going to just drop onto on your laps and say, hey, this is the information, so now you have it. You have to go out there and look for it. So I think that's something that I can just hugely emphasize on, that we need to start looking for this information. We need to start looking at the opportunities and creating more value so that we capitalize and make money.
Yeah, definitely. And Zambia is obviously endowed with a lot of natural resources. We've got a lot of minerals, but believe you me, it's very difficult for Zambians to benefit off of the minerals. Even if you had to start a small scale mining company, it's going to take you a lot of capital injection, etc. But when it comes to other things that we can use to generate money, right? Basically, our culture is something that we can easily make a lot of money off of. Take a look at South Africa. Take a look at how Nigeria has monetized their culture. If you look at the biggest entertainment countries here in Africa, right? Obviously, South Africa pops up, Nigeria does pop up. What are they essentially selling to the public? They are selling their culture. Back in the day, right, Zambian homes were filled with Nigerian movies, South African sitcoms, etc. So one of the things that the youths can really use and take advantage of is our culture and selling it. Monetize it. Find a way to monetize our culture. If it's our fashion sense, we shouldn't really sort of steal from other people. Right now, there's this fad with regards to Zambian musicians trying to sound Nigerian or trying to sound like South Africans because they think this is what's selling out there. But we need to come up with a unique way, our unique identity, and figure out how we can monetize it because it's the only thing that we as citizens of Zambia can actually own. Because if you go and compete with the Chinese with regards to mining minerals, it's going to take you a lot of heavy capital injection, which you are obviously not even going to be able to manage. But when it comes to our culture, our entertainment, we can literally own that entirely. So we just need to export it and figure out a way to monetize it. And this is one of the reasons why the government needs to be able to push monetization, social media monetization, either on Facebook and all these other platforms, because it's going to help empower citizens to come up with money. Mind you, anybody can use social media to prolong whatever they are doing. If you're a CEO, if you happen to be Mzingamelo, you can still use social media to sort of, propel your agenda, show what you're doing in a corporate world, etc. If you're just somebody who's graduated from high school, you can still use social media to sort of market yourself, position yourself, etc. Seku?
Def- Definitely. And this is what we're seeing happening. If you follow Mzingamelu, you're going to see her content everywhere. Beautiful short videos highlighting the events that she's been at, the accomplishments that APSA is going through, and what they're achieving. And we see that with a lot of people that actually have their things properly put together. And the beauty about, I agree with what you're saying, the entertainment. So right now, for the youths, the biggest money makers are entertainment as well as sports. So entertainment, look, how much is Yomops charging for shows? And how much is he making? We've seen how music has transformed his life. So basically the value for musicians and the entertainment industry has gone up. And so that's one way where we can make proper good money. So now we're not only talking about music, right? We're also talking about video directors. Look at the guy that's shooting Yomap's videos, Director Low, huge name. And look at the amount of skill that he has, the beauty of his works, and basically now he's going outside the country and filming other things. When you look at Kenny Rock literally shoots commercial adverts for big corporations around Africa. Now these guys are people that have ensured that the video quality in Zambia goes to the next level. And this is what has happened. So we've got sound engineers, we've got beat makers, we've got the likes of Stash. Right now, there's Icon Muspika. There are a lot of young producers that are coming up and now also understanding what their value is. So it's about identifying where you are in that chain and what you can offer. And where it comes to sports, same thing. Look at Barbara Banda.
Yep.
How much is Barbara Banda making? How much is Kunda Nanji making? How much is Priska Chilufya making? These guys are making money. And from the men's aspect, Fashion Sakala is playing in the Arab leagues and he's getting paid a lot of money. He's rubbing shoulders with Cristiano Ronaldo. Look at Patson Daka, who's in England. Look at Kings Kangwa across Europe. So we've got so much opportunity right now where it comes to sports and entertainment. And as youths, these are things that we can tap in. The issue of social media. There's a job creation in terms of social media management for influential people like Barbara Banda, who's creating content for Barbara Banda. Obviously, she's got the ability to pay. So now, what happens when you create content for Barbara Banda's page? You enable Barbara Banda to attract more people, more corporates for sponsorship in terms of not really sponsorship, for opportunities like brand ambassadorship. So she's making money as a brand ambassador and you are getting paid off of that as well. She gets more deals in terms of brand endorsements, etc., etc. So there's quite a lot of new jobs on the market than thinking, right now we're in a very good place in terms of creating new money with these new markets. All we have to do is understand, how do you make money off artificial intelligence? Right now, ChatGPT, Gemini, Google AI, these have been the talks, and these have literally made lives easier. You can create articles, you can create a website, you can create a video. These are tools that we have to quicken our work, to make us understand certain things that we didn't know, and just improve our skills. So it's a matter of the people, that youths, I didn't want to use the term youths, but all Zambian citizens, that they can try and learn all these new skills in order for them to survive this new world.
Yeah, for sure. And remember, we had a conversation about tech hubs, business hubs, etc. So, what usually happens here in Zambia is there are a handful of technology hubs or business hubs. For example, Lusaka has got a decent number, maybe about four, five, six, seven. I don't know, maybe about six here in Lusaka. So, if you go to other provinces outside of Lusaka, right, these are non existent. And how are people going to be able to adapt to technology? How are people going to be able to take advantage of artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc? So this is one of the reasons why, we also need a pat on the back as far as the government is concerned. There are certain uh, direct, deliberate actions that the government needs to sort of implement. They need to do certain stuff so that they can stimulate citizens to think and gravitate in certain directions. Okay, so when it comes to sports centers, imagine if Zambia had 10 Barbara Bandas or 15 Barbara Bandas. Imagine if we had recreational sports facilities where young kids can actually go there, get groomed, and, hopefully make it big. By the way, entertainment, sports, harnessing of young people is also a very big business. If you go to places like the United Kingdom, right, a lot of uh, big players start from academies. They start from, baby academies, youth academies, and then they eventually graduate and go to the premium league. So if we figure out a way to stimulate the citizens to participate in certain deliberate actions so that they can be productive in a certain way, we're obviously going to have the best sports people. We're going to have the best software developers, the best video editors, etc.
Definitely, definitely. And this is the conversation. This is what the youth movement should be about. We should talk about all these new ways of making money that the government should enable. They should create an environment that lets us, do our thing and make money. And we're going to stop crying about the government providing opportunities, because right now the opportunity is I only need this the handset that I need. That's the only opportunity that I need. And there's a lot of information and a lot of skills to be learned over that. And the other thing that I wanted to also add is, like generally sports is very interesting. I'm starting to learn about the impact of golf and how golf is really helping a lot of young people. Here on the Copper Belt in Quito, to be precise, we have Nkana Golf Club. The amount of young people that Nkana Golf Club has sponsored via the game of sports is quite astonishing, and just how the impact on their lives has been, is something that needs to be highlighted, because away from soccer, there are other sports disciplines, and we need to also show that they are results in these other sports disciplines as well. We've got basketball, and basketball in the next 10 years, I guarantee is going to be a huge game on the African continent, because we're seeing people from the NBA who are African, who are playing in America, come back to Africa. In Sudan, the coach for the Sudanese basketball team was an NBA player, and he is exporting a lot of young Sudanese players to America. So the African continent definitely is going to see a boost in terms of basketball, and there are so many activities that are there, and this is why we need an active Ministry of Sports that's not just only looking at soccer, an active Ministry of an active government, basically, that is ready to adapt in the new in the new way of doing things, in the new markets that are opening up, so that we do not get left behind. And this is why we need a lot of young people participation in politics and in decision making, most importantly in decision making, because I love the Minister of Technology, Honorable Felix Mutati, but if you asked me to ask him a question about I don't think he would, have the right information about it, because it's past his era. So the key ministries, such as Ministry of Technology, that we need people that are able to, give us, show us where the opportunities are, give us answers too. Because, for example, if a millennial was a minister of technology, they understand where Microsoft came from. They understand where Apple came from. They understand how we transitioned from IBM to Microsoft, and just how our operating systems have been transforming and becoming better and better. So they will be easier to give us technology advancement, because they know these things. They were born in an era where these things were active. So it's very important that we advocate for youth inclusivity, and not just only on paper, but we ensure that as we go to the next general election, we have more youth representation in parliament, as well as in the ministries.
Yeah, definitely. And in conclusion, we do not believe in witchcraft money, ritual money, magic money. We only believe in hard work, value addition, selling, and marketing of skills, products, and services. So, without any further ado, it has been amazing seeing you, lovely people. You have been supporting us. Thank you very much. If you watched the entire live stream, in case you're watching the playback, thank you very much. We are going to be coming live on this platform every single day. Yep. That is a very huge proclamation, but we're trying to strive towards consistency, and we're going to be here each and every day at 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. to about 9 p.m. Zambian time, which is Central African time, you are definitely going to be able to catch us. So if you want to chime in, you want to give us your opinions, all the comments are definitely going to be displayed like this. So thank you to all the people that were able to support us, and thank you for showing us all the love. Siku, what are your last remarks before we close it off?
Let's not fall victim to people that are going to come and tell you you can make more money by doing A, B, C, and D rituals. Let's just use our brains and ensure that we make money the right way. We're a Christian nation. We decided to be a Christian nation, so let's not abandon our Christian values. Even we've learned that through the Bible. We've learned when Moses helped the Israelites from Egypt. The Israelites at some point forsake God and started idol worshiping and whatnot. We've learned the stories. We know the stories in the Bible where Christians are, and let's not go there. Let's just ensure that we do the right thing, get the right information, access right platforms. Z Corner is one of the right platforms. You can go to the Z Corner website, which has got some pretty good articles about various different industries. And let's learn something new, and let's learn how to sell and make a sale, because that's the most important thing, is making a sale. Your life will not change if you haven't sold anything or you haven't exchanged a service for that money bill. So let's ensure we do the right thing.
All right, that was beautiful. So thank you very much. Talk to you a little bit later. You guys have been awesome. See you tomorrow, same time.